everybody. I want to do a Andor episodes 1, 2, and 3 review and just kind of breakdown of the episodes. There were 3 episodes. I just watched them, so I don't know if I'll be able to do in detail, um, every little thing, but I'll try to just sum it up to number one. There were 3 episodes. I felt the first two kind of were slow going. They were good, but they weren't like you know as good as the third one. The third one was really really good, and I it was. I'll get to it in a minute, but the first episode opens up with a scene from the trailer. Um, Andor stealing a TIE fighter. And it was pretty intense. At times, it kind of reminded me of the different scenes you've seen throughout the series, like the Jango Fett chase through chasing the Obi-Wan in the asteroid field, and then the asteroid chase as well in Empire Strikes Back. So the one with Jango and Obi-Wan was from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And so there were like little things like that that kind of reminded me of that. And he eventually steals the ship and lands on a jungle planet. And I'm thinking the whole time, this has got to be the planet that we see with the rebel base in A New Hope, with the pyramids and stuff. So, but he's supposed to be meeting a contact there, but the contact is clearly dead. So instead he meets what he thinks might be rebels. I don't know if they were rebels. They seem kind of like misfit rebels or pirates or something. I don't know what they were, but they didn't seem like good guys. They seemed like kind of idiots, if you will. They didn't know what the heck they were doing. So that kind of drags on a little bit, and it goes in between that and showing you what's going on with Bix and her group that's living on like a farming world that Andor's living there too, but he's like on a mission. So it goes kind of in between both, and then the Empire shows up and like surrounds the planet, and they're all like, "What's going on? Are they checking to see who people are, whether you're registered, and this, that, and the other?" Very topical to what's going on in our world with immigration and stuff like that. It had a very topical feel to it with that, and then it also was mixing in with the wedding on is it Sinjarol, the planet where Mon Mothma's from, and her daughter, who's all of 14, getting married to a kid as well. All to keep quiet about what they're doing with the rebels. So I think that's what it was all about. My mind's a little foggy from the first season, but I think the guy that offered to have their kids married, he knew about what Mon Mothma was doing. So to keep quiet, he said, "We'll have her kids be what's the word? Betrothed. I think the word is married." So that's basically what the first 2 episodes are doing. They're going back and forth from both things. In the second episode, there was a really tense scene between Bix and a Imperial trooper. The Imperials came down on the planet, were checking people, making sure that they were supposed to be on the planet. Again, topical to what's going on today. And she almost got raped, which was pretty tense. And again, for like and this was the second episode. Now I'm going into. And the big guy, I forget his name, he comes by and like kind of saves her. Is that a brother? And is a little guy with her brother too? I don't know. I think so, but whatever. Um, and then, but the third episode, man, the way it went back and forth from the wedding to the fight scenes with the Empire and the Empire just kind of taking over. Again, topical to what's going on. Trump just said the other day that he wanted to not just arrest and deport migrants, but Americans too who are criminals. And obviously, we know that they accidentally deported someone who wasn't a criminal and he was legally here. So, what's stopping them if they were to deport Americans and do the same thing? But that's for another story. Um, so, and Bix almost gets raped yet again, but knocks this guy out, fights him really good, and right at the last minute, uh, right before he Andor gets out of, oh, right before Bix and everybody gets attacked by the stormtroopers and the Imperials. Andor comes in, and you see this in the trailer too. He shoots the transport and takes out all the Imperials. The big guy, who's with them, he ends up dying. I thought maybe they were gonna have a twist and have him survive, and they were gonna have to go back and get him or rescue him or something. But I guess they didn't do that. They had him die. In the TIE fighter escaping the planet was Bix. Is that the little guy that with might be her brother? I'm not sure. And also Andor. So they were like the only of the group that made it out alive. But man, tense, going back and forth from the wedding, the dancing, the singing, the music, the joyfulness, but also the tense scenes going on there, and then going back and forth from that to the Imperial stuff and the battles and this and that. It was really good how they kind of melded them together and they kind of blended the two scenes together like that. I've seen other shows do this as well. They even did a little bit of this in The Last of Us. What was it? Sunday night. Between all the different battles and stuff mixed together, which was super intense. But really enjoyed. Okay, I really enjoyed the third episode the best. The other two were kind of, I guess they were the setup. I guess they were the setup for the third episode. This was an arc. It was the opening arc of the show, and they delivered on the third one. And like I said, they showed you the pyramids. I don't know if I said this before. As Andor's taking off, when he escapes and leaves in the TIE fighter, he sees the pyramids from the base that was in the Rebel base from A New Hope and Rogue One. So that was super cool. So I guess they're going to kind of tie that in. I'm hoping that we see possibly R2-D2, C-3PO at the end of this whole thing. They kind of tie that together. Maybe even Chopper and Hera Syndulla would be pretty cool. And also another character that would be cool would be Zeb Aurelia. And any other characters from the Rebels would be really cool. Because my favorite character is Hera Syndulla. So I'm going to end it by saying I wouldn't say I was underwhelmed by the first two episodes, but the third episode really delivered. And I hear this happens in this season, that you're going to have really, really good episodes and then just episodes that are pretty good, but it gets better as it goes along. A lot of people didn't like Andor season 1. They thought it was boring. So it definitely picked up. If this gives me hope for the rest of the season, and I I'm really excited about what's to come. And this is my favorite character that I hope shows up maybe in this series. Is even if just like a walk by character that maybe says one or two lines, or even if she doesn't have lines, it would be really cool. Her and Chopper maybe at the Yavin. Is it Yavin? That's the base. Yavin base would be really cool to have her there, and maybe C-3PO and R2-D2. Anyway, that's gonna be it, guys. Like I said, great third episode. First two kind of the setup. Great third episode. I've really enjoyed it, and may the force be with you all, and have a great night. Andor day.